having had a practice a few days ago at doing that. Recording has started, so just letting everybody know that we are recording the meeting. Right, well, welcome everybody. Slightly smaller number than we've had sometimes, but it's all well and good. So the subject for this evening of our nice, happy, informal chat is how to increase bookings through any means, but particularly people were talking about websites and Facebook. So I'm just going to open the discussions. Who knows what's worked for them?
A website has been great for us.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think many people use our website, to be quite honest. Or I don't know why, but I've not looked at the numbers, but it doesn't seem to be.
It's more ringing.
They do a lot of ringing up, and I think.
How did they get your phone number, Peter?
Well, because it's on contacts on the notice boards throughout the village.
Right. Okay.
On your website, does it tell them whether it's in use or not?
That's the way. But I mean, we get people outside the village, miles away.
Yeah.
To answer Simon's question, which was, does your website tell you if the hall is in use or not? Ours doesn't, other than if you look at the what's on for the regular activities, but people don't. In fact, I'd agree with Peter. People don't use our website a great deal at all.
Right.
Yeah, they tend to message us on Facebook, and they now get an automated response that directs them to the website.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ooh.
we've done an automated response which directs a good proportion of our bookings that direction. But yeah, it's our website now. Yeah, nearly everyone either emails or just books online.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, we've hidden phone numbers away, as I'll show you in a few minutes of how I've recently restructured things. We've hidden phone numbers away and made it so that the majority of the contact is online. It's working well at the minute.
That is interesting. Oh,
yeah.
Pat's coming. That is really interesting. Yeah.
I think I'm hi everyone, and by the way, I'm Tom from Barley Village Hall, chairman at Barley. I think our website does need updating a little bit. We have had it updated once, but we definitely need to give it a refresh, and I think we need to find someone local to do that for us. Now I'm sort of more in favour of going down probably like what Simon's done, the online booking route, and removal of the phone number, because the phone number diverts to the hall, and if it's not in use, people leave a message and it can be there for days. So I think we need to be a bit more automated. We do have a Facebook page, but again, I need to step up and take a look at that and probably update that in a bit, make a bit more use out of that, and have that as probably similar to you, Eileen, where people come on, you can get the automated responses. But we do need to do a bit more then, and probably have more of an online calendar as well.
Okay. In prep for this evening, I went back and looked over a presentation I gave a long time ago, which I had a bit of a refresher recently on. Back in 2009, Grimsby Village Hall's income was 27,000 and our outgoings was 25, and that's not a healthy position. So we desperately needed to fill our weekends and things. And it was like, well, what have we done? Now, this is all with the benefit of hindsight. Yeah, there was no structured plan to any of this. But I'd say one of our key things for increasing bookings was that we now have a really reliable, efficient and extremely approachable bookings manager. And she is our secret weapon. I'm sad she couldn't join us. Most of you know her. It's Sian. She's regularly on these meetings, but she just finished a girly pamper weekend and said she probably wouldn't make it. But that was absolutely key for us. I hear what you're all saying about online, but we provided Sian with a mobile phone that was actually provided by the Village Hall, and a little pocket tablet, a mini iPad, so that she could always be contacted. It's always made clear to people she works full time, but she will pick up voice messages and things like that at lunchtime, and she is just absolutely superlative. She's our secret weapon, without a shadow of a doubt. But we're also considering an automated online booking system. It's just down to me to pull my finger out and actually play with Hallmaster, which Annette, I believe, has been.
Yeah, well, I haven't pulled my finger out yet either. So.
We're all busy people, aren't we?
I know.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask if you'd done it, but
No, not yet.
no,
No.
you've not.
But as well as Sean, for us, it was back then, 2009, we did our first website. And we also shortly after that set up a Facebook page. The other key thing that helps is having decent facilities. You need to have somewhere that people want to come to. And also our rates now are pretty competitive. And that package means that we're full enough, but we could definitely get fuller. As I was explaining to Peter prior to everybody else coming in, we lost our preschool, which has left us quite quiet during the daytimes, weekdays. So we do need to do more. We definitely do need to do more. In terms of websites, I heard what you said, Tom, about you wanting to update yours. I mean, there's different options, aren't there? You can get somebody in to do it, or you can do it yourself. Now, DIY is an option. And Simon very kindly agreed to show us the background to WordPress.
Yes.
Ours is built on WordPress, and I've sort of overseen it over the last few years, but I think just with work commitments and other bits and pieces like that, I've not got the time that I'd like to spend on it at the moment. And it's one of those things for me, you know, if I don't go on it all the time, I forget what I've learned, you know, so
absolutely, yeah,
that's the difficulty for me.
Yeah. WordPress is the latest version that's about the past 6 to 12 months is a lot easier to use than it was 2 years ago. That's one of the things. I know Eileen, when I mentioned WordPress, she always just goes, "Oh, it's horrible."
I do, yeah, I do.
And a couple of years ago, I agree with you, but now I do think it's a lot better. So I've got my website ready on my other screen. If you want me to show, or do you want, or shall we, or do you want to have a natter for a few minutes?
WordPress. Yep.
Okay. I'll start presenting. Say that I can't actually see. Share screen. There we are. Is that coming through to everyone?
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So the first thing you need is a company who will host your website, so the server on the internet to put it on. I've moved to this company called crystal.uk, and they do it for free for charities. So as long as you're a charity, I can't actually find the bit that says we're a charity, but charity hosting there, and it's free. So that is a really useful starting point. So highly recommend that. We still have to pay to own the name, the website name, which is about £9 a year. But the actual hosting of the server could be £10 a month if you don't have it for free. So Crystal is definitely a good starting point for these things. Once you've got that, it is actually pretty quick and easy to set a website up. You could literally go to here, click on, come right down to the bottom here and just click install WordPress, and it will be set up as a basic website. That would then give you just a blank website, and then you'd have to start creating the content. So I've created 9 pages, 10 pages, whatever that is, 8 in fact, and half of those are hidden away in the background that people don't really see anyway. But yes, the main page that I have is the bookings web page. Now, when the public see it, they don't actually see what is on. They just see whether it's busy or in use. And basically, this is a Google Calendar that is in people's phones. So the booking secretary, anybody on the committee can see this, and the right people can edit it as well. But it just means we don't get the phone calls going, "Can I use your hall on next Tuesday afternoon?" Just yes, it's free. You know, they can see that themselves. And if your website makes this easy enough, I find this to be fantastic, because so many phone calls stopped really quickly. But yeah, tucked away right down here is the phone number. So below the calendar, So they've already had chance to see the information. They've had prices. They've had, what facilities have you got?
Mm.
All the questions that we get are there, and an email address. And it's only if it's urgent, there's a phone number.
Mm.
And then we even have the online booking system that I demoed a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's all here as well now, and that's up and running and working well, whether they're resident or not. And then, it gives them the time slots that they could book. It all links into that same Google Calendar. So it makes it dead easy. And this got rid of most of our phone calls. And if people can just click through and book it, it's all there. And there's even the bank details for people to pay. Now, in terms of the editing, WordPress, as I say, is a lot easier now. If you want to change the order of things, like move the phone number up, we just literally click, right, let's move it up to there. Then you can just literally move boxes around now.
All right, so they're just boxes that you drag and drop, right? Okay.
So you literally just create a separate box for each paragraph, almost, and I just play back with the order now. Now you can see the complicated bit there. That Google gives you the code for that to put that into a calendar.
Yeah.
So it takes seconds. Once you've set up a calendar, which you can do on your own Google account, which I can happily show people how to do. You just ask it for the code to embed it into a web page. It gives you that, and you just drop it into a box like that. And it's just, if anyone wants to pinch any ideas off our website, just go for it. Because it is quite easy to use now. This.
I'm on it now on my phone, Simon. I have to say, it's an extremely good layout and very friendly as well for phones, because a lot of websites fall over on phones, don't they?
They do, and again, that's the good thing with WordPress is it's got all the themes, so you can go to appearance, themes, and you go, what do I want it to look like today? And I use this 2017 theme that was one of the defaults, but if I wanted to make my website look different, I could literally go and browse and download one, and there you go. I've just changed the appearance of my website at the click of a button there. So that same page I was just showing you, but it doesn't work on this one very well, so it takes a few minutes of editing, but it's all about the content in the main.
Presumably that changes only becomes real if you actually save it, does it? Does it happen in real time?
That one happened in real time.
Oh,
that
would scare the pants out of me.
Yeah, and I can't actually get to the button because my Zoom's in the way. Do you know what? 2017 isn't coming back on now. Anyway, I'll fix that in a bit.
That's why that would scare the pants off me.
Yes. Oh, in fact, no, it looks like I'm all right. It's still... No, I really have changed it. Anyway, it doesn't take a lot though, but within minutes I can swap it back as well. But I actually created a page with policies, so every document that anyone could ask for, whether it's the risk assessments,
You're
booking
far
policies.
too organised.
Well, no, these are all the things that the committee asked me for. So if anybody ever asks me for anything, and the fire alarms certificate from last time it was serviced, there you go. It's all on the website, and that actually makes my life so much easier. Once it's all there, and it takes seconds to upload it, because you literally just go into the media page, there's all the files, and all the historical versions of everything as well. Like, I just drop them all in. That's everything to do with the village hall. And if anybody ever needs it, it's there. It's at the click of a button. So once you've got it set up, and again, setting it up isn't a scary thing to do at all. If I wanted to create a new page all about, I don't know, the toilets, I don't know, Yeah, I can literally put here, we have 3 sets of toilets. You can then just add a photo, just like that. If I upload it to the website, it's already in the media library, or you can go and find one. And it takes seconds. I don't know what that picture is, but we'll pretend it's. Oh, there we go. It's the back garden at my old house.
Might want to take that back off again.
Not a toilet.
No, but I'll just draft it in a minute. But that's how easy it is to add pages to the website.
That is so different to the last time I was looking at WordPress. That's actually very like the voice system that we use at Grimsby Village Hall and also was used at Grimsby Parish Council. Voice, a bit like your Crystal, it doesn't only host though. It is a complete website builder that is free.
Yes.
And it does have the advantage of having the voice communities where you can ask your peers for help and stuff, which is lovely.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. And just a very quick one while we're touching on Facebook, I'll show you what we do with that, and then I'll stop presenting and let someone else ask a question. That's a very old picture of our hall now. We've got new signs, got rid of that fence. We've had the car park resurfaced. I think it's time for me to refresh that, really. But yes. But yeah, whenever we've got special events on, I'll share them. We just started a warm space, so again, I'm sharing that for the users. We have Bretherton's coaches in. We've got new tables and chairs today as well. So yeah, I'll happily put pictures on. This was our open day that we had for National Village Halls Week. So yeah, I keep on sharing just things of interest and then share them on to other local Facebook pages as well. So yeah, it works. It was interesting. The open day, we had about 6 members of the public turned up. It was a waste of time. But the amount of publicity that I was doing about that, we actually got 3 bookings that night, which just because I was publicising it so much, people went, "Oh, Castle Village Hall, let's book it." So sharing things on Facebook can really help.
I would certainly concur with that. Facebook to us was a massive, massive thing. The only thing I would say, Simon, is how much time do you spend on your village hall a week?
Getting less now. I've managed to get rid of bookings to somebody else. I've managed to get rid of treasurer to somebody else. So I've actually eased my workload this last month or so. I'm still having to hold their hands as they get onto these things, as you can probably imagine. But
that's good.
It is improving. I will say that much. It is definitely getting easier.
Tom, did that encourage you to have another look at your website yourself again, or do you still think you want somebody else to do it?
Well, it has done. And while we were talking, I've just been onto it and logged into the back end. And I've updated some of the WordPress things, and now I can't get into my site at all. So no, it's probably the answer to your question now.
Oh no!
So I don't know what's happened there, but it won't let me even. I don't know if someone wants to try and load up barleyvillagehall.org and see if that'll load on theirs, but it's not. I don't know if it's just my internet, but it's not loading at the moment.
Right, hold on. Barley.
No, not working for me either.
No,
it's a server error. That it could be in the middle of updating.
It could be, yeah.
It's getting HTTP 500.
No, you've taken down your website, Tom.
Yeah, and all that traffic that we don't get.
I'm sure that'll be readily fixable.
No, I think it will be. I think I've had that before. So, but no, I mean, I am quite happy to have a look at it and take a look. But for me, it is time. But there is another person who just moved into the village who sort of is quite good at stuff like this, and she told me that she might be up for being like our events and social media person as well. So I'm speaking to her and see if she'll take over that.
Yeah.
Terry, how are things going with your side? Because you were looking to get your website updated, weren't you?
Yeah, we've employed somebody actually to create a website from scratch. So we looked at the voice system and we decided not to use that. Not that we don't like it. But we have somebody that's going to build a website from scratch. We don't actually have a website at the moment, so we've got
Okay.
a sheet of
Yeah.
paper.
I do know that any professional website builder wouldn't touch voice. It's too basic for them. But
Yeah,
for me, it was ideal. Yeah.
The committee had some money, so we decided to spend it. Can I just ask Simon a question about his presentation? The thing that I've made a note of here, you said that phone calls stopped quickly. Now, I see that as a bad thing, to be honest, because aren't you just making this a very transactional process? Don't we want, from a marketing perspective, don't we want the phone calls to ring?
It's the questions. It's the is the hall available? Yeah, once someone puts a booking in, we will quite often phone them and have a chat. A bit depending on what the event is.
Isn't that the lead though? Don't we want people to ring and ask if it's available? And
they
then
can
we
see for themselves, and if it's available.
No, Eileen, you're shaking your head.
Not if your bookings manager has a full-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's not ideally. I mean, we are all volunteers on I guess all trustees are volunteers. It really is it's a horses for courses, that one, Terry, I would say. Some people, particularly if you're fairly new to getting into your village hall and things, then yes, you probably do want that, because it's only through that personal interaction that you're going to get a good feel for what people want and need. Now, Sian, bless her, has been doing it for probably 14 years. So, you know, she doesn't also need the spam emails that you get from somebody who's looking for a wedding venue, who spans every single hall that they can find an email address for, going, is your hall available on the, and she replies to them all religiously, and the vast majority don't even come back, you know. So it's a case of just trying to filter some of the noise.
Okay, that's a good point. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we agreed to do both. We're going to, I don't know that we put ours quite as far down the page as Simon has, but we also have quite a lot of traditional hirers. We have quite a lot of people who want to actually fill out a booking form. And we are happy to continue doing that, even though we have made the decision that we will move towards an online booking system. But the beauty of Hallmaster that we're looking at is that it doesn't actually confirm a booking. It just makes a provisional booking and sends you an email that you can then go, don't think so.
Yeah,
which is exactly what we have with Appointed as well. It just makes that it just gets rid of that 40, 50, 60% of the phone calls have stopped because they can check for themselves, and there's no, how much is it going to cost? Is it available? Can we have a bouncy castle? It's all in there.
Fair enough. We're actually going to employ a bookings manager, so we'll actually pay somebody to do the job.
Wow.
So maybe that's a slightly different approach to the volunteer role that you were talking about.
Yeah, definitely.
Launching our website, we won't actually have a booking system to start with. We're just going to have an inquiry system.
Right.
Yeah.
And it might be that as time goes on, we learn the lesson that you've learned, and we try and filter out a lot of these, waste of time sort of calls.
Is there anybody other than you, Terry, who said you're getting one? Anybody else who doesn't have a website? No. So we all have a website.
I know that Clyton, who haven't made it tonight,
but they
were on last time. I know they are just getting their first website now. I was talking to them a couple of days ago about it.
It's interesting. Sorry, Pat, you've got your hand up. What did you want to say?
Well, just that we've fairly recently set the website up. We had one before that was part of our parish council website. And we used a local firm, and apart from having problems with the actual email addresses, it's worked well. And he's in the process of building what you were talking about, the Google booking system. Yeah. So, because at the moment the cafe manager does all that, and we want to try and free her up a bit more time. And it's all done in a diary, but it doesn't work very well. But as I say, the new website, go and have a look at it. It's Broughton Parish Community Charity. And he's a local bloke, and he's actually now doing our own website, and we're moving across to the new one as we speak. By tonight's end, we will have our new website. Voice was great when we didn't have a lot on it, But because we've had so much on now and so many different labels, it's not
Yeah.
really, it's only pages, isn't it? It's not as easy to use as this one, and it's much cheaper than anything else we've found.
Very good.
Okay, but have a look at our new website and have a look at the charity website. The parish council one's much better than the other one because I've only just started doing the charity one. But I think, has it gone to the new site now?
Yeah, I'm on it now.
Oh, the picture's terrible. We've got all the pictures I've sent him are not in enough pixels.
Oh, it might. Oh, yeah, there are some down there. Yes.
Yeah, but
pictures,
the one
yeah.
across the top's pathetic. And then the other one, as I say, is the one for the charity which we just set up.
Right.
But we prefer to pay someone to do it for us.
And I don't blame you.
No one's got the expertise.
Yeah. I mean,
well,
we
budget for it every year.
But we did find the limits to voice. And there was a lass in the village that I spotted was running a voice website for our local toddler group, and very quickly realised she knew a shed load more than I did about voice. So I messaged her and found out she was a professional media person, and so she revamped both the parish council and ours because we were just using one of the formulaic layouts, which are quite restricted, and she gave both of them much prettier front ends, and happily made them not look identical, which they did before, which was quite a problem for us. But I think ours probably needs a major refresh now. It's just it's a case of time, and certainly we would have the money to pay somebody now. But back in 2009, when you've got a £2,000 headroom between income and outgoings, you can't do it, can you?
No.
Okay. What about Facebook? Who does and doesn't have a Facebook page?
We don't. No, we
have
don't.
Facebook.
Yeah, we've got Facebook.
We have a Facebook, and
Okay.
We do.
The only thing I would say is we came foul of it as a parish council when somebody wanted a request for information for a certain building they were doing in the village. So we have to be very, very careful what goes on our Facebook page.
The parish council's Facebook page.
Yeah,
yes,
but that was also the Toll Bar Cottage at that point. But now the Toll Bar Cottage has got its own Facebook page, and they use it for advertising. They get a lot of business through it.
I was going to say, who was it who said they didn't?
Yeah.
Who was it who said they didn't have a Facebook page?
We don't have we don't.
Yeah, but Peter, you just told me before everybody else came on that your hall is full anyway.
That's right.
The last thing you want is more customers to turn away because you're full.
We just put stuff on Facebook if we're fundraising, like a duck race, or we do an over 60s party for Christmas. You know, the oldies. What else do we do?
The flower show.
Flower show, yeah.
That's it.
Going on.
That is it.
So that's advertising the things that happen in your hall rather than advertising your hall as a venue. Well, if anybody wants to, I mean, obviously Simon's shown you there a fair bit about marketing your hall on Facebook. It's a pity Peter from Goosner Village Hall hasn't been able to be here, because I follow a few village halls. In fact, I'll go and follow the rest of you now that I'm not already. I spy. Of course I do. Don't reinvent wheels. But Peter's been doing a sustained program of marketing their village hall and doing it very well. And certainly we found Facebook probably the most useful marketing tool now, beyond any of the traditional like flyering the village or putting stuff in leaflets or any of these things that go through everybody's doors. Facebook now for us is the key marketing tool. Without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely for us.
Yeah.
It also depends on the demographic you're after as well. One thing I've noticed is, so my name's Bill Elsa. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the chair of a community centre here in Deepdale. I live in Grimsby, but I come from Deepdale, and this is where I'm right now at my mum's house, and I'll be back at home in Grimsby this evening. Hence why how I met Eileen. But yeah, I recently became chair of a community association here. I don't know if you know Catherine Beckett's in Deepdale.
Nah, these people are scattered to the winds across Lancashire. Yeah.
Pat does know it. So so we have, one thing I've noticed is we do work with social media in my business, and it depends on demographics that you're after. The older generation, basically 35 and over, which is basically me and everybody else on this call. I'm 41. So
same as me.
Yeah. So we all use Facebook, but then the younger lot will use Instagram and Twitter. More Instagram right now, but also then they'll use TikTok and Snapchat and things like that as well. But it depends how you want to communicate, because all my cousins, well, my second cousins, my nieces and nephews from they're all teenagers and early mid-20s. You won't see them dead on Facebook, but if you message on Instagram like that, they're there.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it depends what you want for what. So it's targeting different demographics.
Yep, I recognise that's now one of our major challenges. And I have had an account with Bilal. You'll probably know the name of that app there is that tie them all together. Hootsuite, that's it.
Hootsuite, yes, we have Hootsuite.
Yeah.
Business, yes.
Yeah.
That one.
I mean,
there's a few things you can use for social media to make it appealing. It depends how much time you have, and it doesn't take very long. But there's something called Canva.
Oh, okay.
I've heard of that.
So if we go to Canva, canva.com. Yeah. You can create fun posts on there if you want. You just use the images that they have to at least make things a little bit more interesting. And there's things called like Crowdforce or something like that. We have it in my company, but I can't remember what it's called for the life of me. It's not called crowdfunding. But there's an app where you can schedule things as well, depending on what you want to do. Let me just have a look. Crowdsource.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So we use Crowdsource, and it does work. Is it called Crowdsource? My email's dying now.
Something like that. Yeah, I've used it 2 or 3 times with different things.
So Crowdfire. There we go.
Crowdfire. Yeah.
Crowdfire.
FIRE. Crowdfire.
Yeah. Crowdfire.
Right. So is that a bit like Hootsuite in that you create a post and it shares it onto all your social media?
Yeah, and you can. It's a bit cheaper than Hootsuite, but we find it better. So we use Crowdfire. But again, it's apples and oranges, apples and pears. So you want engaging posts. If you are going to do something on more visual on Instagram or even Facebook, more engaging, appealing image, then you would use Canva to create your image, and then you use Crowdfire to send it out. I mean, there is a monthly fee of like a tenner or something, $10 a month, which is not going to break the bank. But if it means you're going to get, obviously, speculate to accumulate, I guess it's all part of marketing. I mean, as much as we are working with a charitable organization, it all comes down to business. Business
it
things
does.
Like you.
Yeah, no, it absolutely does.
That's
we know
here.
we're going to have to do that because, as I say, we've been comfortably full, but things will start to drop off. And you're absolutely right about that demographics. I think in light of the person who now owns Twitter, I would actually park that one a bit at the moment, maybe.
Likewise, I don't use Twitter because of him.
Do you use Instagram?
He's the reason why I didn't buy a Tesla.
Sorry?
He's the reason why I didn't get a Tesla. I was like, you can do one, mate.
Yeah. Well, he's not the reason why we've bought an electric MG that still hasn't arrived yet, but
an MG.
I wanted an EV and I got one, but it wasn't that one.
Yeah, no, we've ordered one, but there's some hold up. Anyway, that's another matter. But I'll just park Twitter for now. But I know that we need to get on Instagram for exactly the reason that you've said. We've got to start dropping down the demography into who we're appealing to.
If we drill it down, if it's going to have to be, so for example, here at Catherine Beckett's, we have a seniors dance class every Wednesday. It's a dance afternoon. We also have a lot of events for the seniors. They're not going to be on social media. Most of them aren't. Yeah. But they're used to just coming. However, people who are a bit younger than them, because these people are in their 70s and 80s and plus, some of them do actually use social media, but most of them don't. They have their grandkids use it, what have you. But younger than that, depending on what event you're putting on and what type of crowd you want to go after, that's what will decide. You put everything out on social media. I mean, you put it on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, but the uptake will be different across the different platforms according to the demographic.
I mean, it's kind of interesting. We've just had a new notice board put up at at our car park, which actually will get walking traffic. And for the first time, mainly because we're now actually going to have a window that you can see through, I'm actually planning to put up a regularly updated list of everything on. But just because we realise we're not catching the people who aren't on social media.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't got anything outside. We've been waiting for someone to put it up, but we're too full. We don't really want Too many more people at the moment. But that's the cafe side. The actual other side of it. We're getting there, but we've got a new notice board. We're just waiting for someone to put up. Anyone fancy a little bit of work? Let me know.
Yeah, when I had my open day a couple of weeks ago, I managed to get posters out of all the users, so I've refreshed the notice board outside. But yeah, website gets 90% of our stuff, and the Facebook, if we want to share stuff, we do. But if people are looking for a village hall, you know, they'll find us on Facebook, on the website, should I say.
Are any of you part of the M6 group? The meeting rooms on the M6? There's a group that's if you're within so far of the M6. I've only come across it recently, but I'll circulate it. I don't know whether they actually charge you, but basically, it's something like M6 meetings or something like that, or motorway meetings, and you're on like their list. And if people want something, because we're getting more and more people just calling in, going upstairs and having a little meeting with half a dozen of them.
Oh, okay, that's interesting, because we're a bit like you, very close to the M6. That could be useful for us.
We've got, we haven't got that much parking, but we do seem to get quite a few people. And obviously, the other thing is having decent broadband for the smaller meetings, which is basically what we attract during the day at the cottage.
With have you guys got the charity tariff from BT?
Don't use BT.
I can't. We got told that they would do it. I can't remember what it was, because the previous chair has become vice chair currently, and there was some kind of deal.
Yeah,
if you come on Wednesday, Eileen, you'll get to know about it. But it's all of us working together trying to get the best
I
we can.
I do hope to get there. In fact, I'm fairly sure I will be there, Bilal.
There'll be food.
Yeah, well, it was when you sent me that email today that it actually got it properly into me. Now I'm hoping to come anyway, but I hadn't heard about the BT tariff. We were with BT prior, and we were just getting absolutely fleeced. I got really quite annoyed with them because they would not consider putting us onto a standard residential tariff, which was a fraction of what we were paying as a business customer, and so I sacked them off. And we're with PlusNet now.
We're with BT Business, but the way they're working is because they're now going to be the charity. From a couple of weeks' time, that's when they're going to swap over, but there is a different tariff.
Oh, okay. They didn't bother telling us that.
Right.
Yeah. Useful to know for when PlusNet annoy me.
Well, it depends where you are.
On the phone to them if they annoy you.
Well, yeah, but you then sit in the queue for 20 minutes, don't you, before anyone answers?
And then by that time you're apoplectic with rage, and you scream at some poor person sat in a chicken booth.
I used to
feel
that
very sorry.
Thankfully, I've mellowed in my old age, I'm glad to say, so I don't tend to scream at people down the phone as much as I used to. But
well, so many of them, you can only deal with them online anyhow, and you have those dreadful chat things.
Yes.
Chat where you're speaking to a robot.
Yeah.
Does anybody not have broadband at their village hall? That's interesting, Neve.
Rachel.
Sorry, Rachel. Sorry, I can't help it. Rachel.
We're just looking into it now. We're just starting looking, and we are horrified by the price. Absolutely horrified. So.
What are you being quoted?
Well, it was £54 from BT for a month. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we don't know if it would be that useful for us.
Keep looking.
It'd be useful for people coming for when they're just messing about on the phones, but we're not not really a business. We're not sure.
Well, you'd be surprised what you need it for these days. For example, our farmers markets couldn't operate now because when everybody was only doing contactless shopping, we have to have the indoor stalls. The only way that they could take any purchases were by the fact that they could connect into our broadband.
Well, we don't have anything like that yet, but if we got broadband, maybe we could.
Yeah. We're a little bit cheeky with ours, really. The parish council rent an office in the village hall, so they have broadband. So we reduced their rent as long as we could tap into their broadband. So I've got a separate router that isolates the two networks and all this lot. And the village hall users have access to the internet, and the parish council have the contract.
Don't tell our lot, because the process with this separation, we've got the office in the building, and there's now discussion that the parish council ought to pay 50% of the broadband.
Yeah.
No, I'm not telling them you're doing that.
No, but that's how we did it. We reduced their rent and got ourselves free broadband. Which
that seems fair enough. I mean, I think off the top of my head, and I emphasise off the top of my head, our broadband package is circa 20 quid a month. So it's very much cheaper than you quoted, Rachel. Very much cheaper.
Right.
And that's with PlusNet. And they do email me when the contract is going to end, and I go straight back on one of the sites to the comparison sites, and then usually, if I don't like what they're saying they're going to renew it for, then I get onto them, and they're usually better whatever I found on a comparison site.
Yeah. Right. Okay, that's useful. Thank you.
I was going to say, if anyone is after checking whether their website is good or not, I might just share my screen again. It's probably easier to explain if that's all right.
Yep, go on.
Onto that monitor there. Oh, it's being hard work with me. There we are. Share that screen. Go. I signed up with this service called DIIB. DIIB.com. And what they do is once or twice a week they'll send me an email with how my website's working. Is it running fast at the moment, or are things wrong? Are my emails configured correctly, which I've not configured that bit properly, so it's telling me about that. It's telling me that if people search for Catterall, I'm now 14th on Google instead of 23rd because of changes I'm making to the web pages. And then it tells you how much of your traffic's come from social media, how many people are on mobile.
Do you pay for that, Simon?
Nope, I'm on the free version. But they will give you a professional version for, I think it's £8 a month.
That was DIIB, right?
Yes, DIIB.
Yeah.
But
Voice has a lot of stats. Voice has a lot of stats that you can go and interrogate. But of course, you never do. Or I never do I? No. But having an email come in to annoy me every now and then might be quite useful.
Yeah, it's just simple things like this. It's that I've still not got around to dealing with. But the image on my homepage, the picture of the village hall, is 0.6 megabytes, which means it takes ages to load on a slow connection. And it's complaining that I don't have a phone number directly on the homepage. Well, I'm quite happy not to do that, but it gives you lots of little tips like that you just go, oh right, I'm going to swap that image for a different one. And simple stuff like that. But yeah, DIIB. It's one of them. I just signed up for it because it's free. I just thought this is going to annoy me. I'll be putting it into a spam in no time type thing. But no, it's actually been really interesting. And if you paid for the professional version, in fact, you might be able to do it for free. You can keep an eye on your competitors as well.
Okay.
So
I'm not sure we really directly have competitors as such, to be honest, in this.
Well, we kind of do, because if you're in a we kind of do, we kind of don't. I mean, in this area, we don't have any competitors. There are some community halls, but they're all religious, whereas we're happy being secular.
Yeah.
So, and that's the beauty of it, isn't it? That's the whole point of being a multicultural society that we live in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for us in this village, Bilal, we have the club and we have the pub, but the marketplace for the three venues is just completely different. And I also recognise that we're different. For example, to if somebody wants a really picturesque wedding, I direct them to Chipping.
Nice. So your club, just out of interest, regarding the club, I've seen it, I've driven past it. Who uses it?
Oh, lots.
Am I allowed to use it?
It's a very well used club now. Yeah.
Am I allowed to walk in, or do you have to be a member or something?
You're supposed to be a member. I think you can walk in. I mean, I do. They tighten up sometimes and ask you to sign a guest book. But the membership is something like £10 a year. And you can get signed in by any other member. But yeah, it does get used quite a lot, and it's got a mutual understanding with the pub. Some people use both, some people use one, some people use neither. But yeah, no, it's a good venue, but it's well small for parties compared to us. Again, if people come and say, well, I want to have a party for 25, 30 people, I'll say you'd be much better going to the club. And I'll tell them that directly, because they would, rather than rattling around.
Maybe you can take me in if you know people, because as I said, I'm still getting my foot in the village.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll find these things out. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Who else wants to ask what?
I'd like to ask Simon how he's gone on with his solar panels being paid for.
Oh yes.
Are you
getting the feed-in tariff yet?
Or he'd know nothing. He couldn't get any money out of them.
We're getting our smart meter on the 20th of March.
Aren't you absolutely riveted by that?
Yeah, I can't wait, because that's 24,000 units that we've not been paid for, that we've generated now.
Wow.
Oh, wow. You're going to make a load of money.
Bloody hell.
So going forward, we will.
24,000 units. So what's that equate to in pounds?
I have no idea, because the previous committee put the solar panels in and then never registered them.
Oh, wow.
Simon, when did they put them in?
It must be 5. It's always had them since I moved to the village 6 years ago.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't back in the day when you got whacking great feed-in tariffs. So
Yeah,
you're just talking about
it was on 25p feed-in tariffs at the time when they installed them.
Right.
Was it? Right. Will you still get the feed-in tariff, or will you only get the
we'll get the 4p a unit or whatever?
Yeah, 4p a unit. It's still worth having. It's still worth having.
It is, but so frustrating that how much we've missed out on.
Yeah, too right.
What happened to that postcode, Simon? Because you hadn't got one.
We had an incorrect postcode on the whole, which we didn't. We went on the postcode address file, so yes, we had to get registered on that. But that's created lots of hassles for us as well, because we, in a bit of a complication, we've never paid for water.
Oh,
that's a whole other story. But because we suddenly appeared on the postcode address file, we've now had to start paying for water. So yeah, when the hall was built, they tapped the water off a new building site at the other end of the playing fields, and forgot. Well, someone somewhere thought that it was registered for as a charitable place that weren't paying. Was what I was told.
That's hilarious.
So all of a sudden we've come to the attention of people like United Utilities, who've now started billing us for water. We've just moved to Everflow instead of whoever it was, Water Plus. Who does everything else?
Were they cheaper?
They were. They were when I went through a broker, and I played utility brokers off against each other.
I actually did not know that you could seek alternative water suppliers.
Did I?
Yeah, you can do these days. Yeah.
Black sheep.
Right.
So I'm assuming you're all with Water Plus, are you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I ended up going through a company. So I went through about 3 different search engines for utilities, who all phoned me back the next day type thing, and oh yes, here's our best price for you, sir, and all this lot. And there's a fixed price and a variable price that's part of the bills. There's a wholesale bit that's fixed no matter what, and then there's a bit of a variable bit, and they all have variable profit amounts on those. So one company that said they were really good for charities, and I'm just trying to find who it was, said, oh, we could, we'll offer it you at the minimum price, which became £310. And then everyone else was over 400. And I got talking to people, and that bit's variable. Oh right. Oh well, if he's offered it you for 310, we'll match that. Well, why did you offer me 400 to start with? So I played them all off against each other and got it right down to the absolute minimum, where they were basically making no profit.
So who was that again, Simon, that you're actually with now?
Everflow.
Everflow.
You can go direct to Everflow, but but again, they'll make some commission out of it. So the company that came in cheapest was Clearsight Energy, who instantly gave us the best price at £310. So I would,
Right. Okay, that's interesting.
Or another thing called Switch-Us. So
And when you say £310, is that a year or
that's
based
a year
on a fixed, is that based on a fixed figure?
Based on rateable value.
Right, so you haven't got a water
meter.
No.
Oh,
yeah.
right. No.
And you're lucky because they insist, everyone's insisting you have them now.
Yeah.
They are. But
yeah,
no,
great.
we're at the minute we're haggling off rateable value and saying, we hardly use any because we don't have that many parties and people just come and go, so it's only a couple of toilet flushes. We don't need a water meter. And we've haggled a bit so far and managed to keep it on that basis.
What about the rain that falls on your car park?
It goes onto the field.
Are you paying for having your rainwater?
Yes.
And where does your rainwater actually go, Peter?
It goes into the sewer.
Does it?
Foul water, yeah.
Oh dear.
I don't think ours does.
No. Well, we had a massive battle with United Utilities when the whole system changed. They started charging us, and a bit like you, Simon, I don't know what your car park size is, but ours is massive. They started charging us for all of the rainwater, and it was eye-watering. It was something like £1,200 a year. It was absolutely obscene.
Yeah.
And the treasurer kept battling and battling. And I remember Marcus Hill, who was a previous chair of LAVCH, also screamed and campaigned and managed to get theirs cut right down. So I took on and battled and screamed. And I actually got a phone call from somebody who's working on our site to say, just letting you know that United Utilities are on site doing a dye test. And I'm just letting you know that they have discovered that your water does go into the brook as you thought. Because he said, I will tell you now, they won't tell you. And they absolutely carte blanche refused to acknowledge that their engineer had been on site that day. And even when I threatened a freedom of information request, which apparently you can't actually do to utilities anyway, they absolutely refused. And then after a bit more press ganging and threats and all the rest of it, they brought us down to something like, this is a while back, £300 or £400 a year from 1,200, but they could only backdate it for 12 months. And they've been charging us 1,200 for 3 years.
Wow.
Oh no, ridiculous. Yes, ridiculous.
1,200.
It was back then. Yes, it was obscene. Absolutely obscene.
We had huge bills at the time, but we never actually paid them in the end. But
well done.
No,
right. Anything else that anybody wants to act? Particularly, is there anything else on the idea of increasing bookings?
What do you think you will start with, Hallmaster?
When I actually remember and have a spare day in the week.
Right. Well, I'm hoping at the beginning of March.
Right. Okay. Well, it sounds like we might be both doing it at a similar time.
Yeah.
It might be worthwhile, Anne, me bobbing across to you and sitting once I've had a bit of a dabble or liaising with each other anyway. But I intend to make the most of their free Zoom tutorials.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It is just that finding that elusive time, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we're applying for CIO, and we're trying to raise money as well. So it's been hectic. So, but hopefully, things that will finish and I can focus on that. So I'll let you know if and when I start. Yeah.
Likewise. I presume I'm seeing you on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can. Yeah. Any other particular questions or queries from anybody at this point in time?
No.
I'm just mindful of the time, and I do always try to make sure that these meetings only do take an hour of people's time. So,
yeah, I've just sent you an email, Eileen, with the details of the water company. If you wanted to forward the contact details on or anything like that, the utilities broker, should I say.
Okay, I can bob that onto the next email, which will be going out about the AGM. Just for anybody who might not have picked it up from emails or from. Speaking of Facebook, is there anybody who isn't in our discussion forum?
I won't be when I'm not on Facebook.
Is there anybody on your committee who is, Rachel?
I don't think so, no.
That's a pity, because it's just really useful, because it's a live online sort of thing where you can just lob a question. You don't always get an answer, but it's amazing how often people do get, you know, there was one the other day, cleaning companies, wasn't there, Simon?
Yeah.
Cleaning companies for village hall kitchens, and there were 2 replies back to that within a few hours. So
yeah, that's, and she was asking for fire doors and windows and stuff like that, which considering it's our next hole along, they're only a mile from us.
Yeah,
it's
it's really useful for that. And then there was the other one again. Has anybody got a model hiring document? Well, it's not a model, but you know, you can have a look at mine. I wouldn't call it a model, and you shared yours as well, Simon. So it is
really helpful. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. It's a really useful. Oh, that was you, wasn't it, Terry? Sorry. Yeah. It is useful. So maybe Rachel C, just ask of your committee if there is anybody, or maybe even set up a Facebook account. Maybe. Yeah. No, it's right. My hobby is exactly the same. It's no, nay, never doing it. Yeah. But right. Okay. So yes, our AGM, which is our next meeting, which is a physical meeting, Saturday the 1st of April, will be at Grindleton Pavilion. Key thing there is Denise is going to come. Denise from Community Futures is going to come along and talk to us about trustee specification, recruitment, and training.
Ooh.
Then obviously we also actually have to have our AGM, and then there'll be the usual open forum. So it's a half day, Bilal. If you can make a Saturday, I don't know what your weekend commitments around. Yeah,
I don't exactly have a social life, so I'll be there.
Right, excellent. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think I will be there this time.
If you send me an invite via email, then I have it in my calendar.
Yeah, I will be doing it. Won't be like a nice invite like you sent me. It'll just be an email. I'm not that smart and organised. I just send the details out. But I'll be doing that. I've got to get onto the Charities Commission, which I got a reminder today, which I promptly ignored, to just check with them our proposals. I had a meeting with Sian and Teresa, the other 2 of the admin team, just to talk about what we thought would be best for our constitution, but I just need to run it past the Charity Commission. So I'll spend an hour on the phone tomorrow having a 3-minute phone call, getting through to the Charity Commission, just to see if they concur with what we'd like to do. But that's another key thing for the AGM. And the reason, Bilal, we need to change our constitution is that it currently says that we provide advice and support. And we just can't say that we provide advice because we are not experts. None of us are qualified. We can provide shed loads of experience, but not advice. So
what we can say is we can signpost people.
Absolutely, we signpost. We will share. We'll share anything. I say that actually. I should qualify that. Some of us might be experts in certain fields, in which case we can provide advice. But you know, in what we do here, generally we're not. So Denise, she will be providing expert advice because she's a paid professional, you know, so, but that's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Right. Well, that's been another really excellent session. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I will, after ending the meeting, I will try and make sure tomorrow that I get the recording up onto YouTube. And sorry, Rachel, but I will only be initially sharing that via Facebook because that's quick and easy for me. However, I will attach it to the email for the AGM when I send that out sometime in the next few weeks. I've got to send the notification of the AGM out. I can't remember if it's 3 weeks or 4 weeks before the actual date. So I've got to pull my finger out fairly swiftly on that one. So you'll get it soon. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Eileen.
Right, no, thank you guys.
See you Wednesday.
Right. Yeah, see you Wednesday, and see you. It's 2 of you I'm seeing Wednesday. 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. Right. Okay. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. One of me gone, and there's